hashtag replay. So I know that you're here just waiting for my YouTube to pop up, which I'd recommend to subscribe to as well too. And we'll dive right into this. But today I want to discuss with you why there's a pattern that wrecks every single person that has experienced network marketing before, whether it's for you or you've seen these patterns in your team. And I wonder if you might agree with me or not. And what you'll notice is, assuming someone successfully launches their network marketing business, they follow the systems in place. What happens is after the first month, you're super excited, second month, still excited. And around the third month, things seem to mysteriously start to slow down. It feels like the same systems that you were doing before aren't clicking. It seems like people aren't responding as quickly. You're not making it as many sales. You're not enrolling as many partners. Duplication is not there. And you feel really weird because you feel like you're extra serious, you're extra committed. You know that the business can work, but there's a disconnect that starts to happen. If we don't know how to avoid this, then we get stuck into this trap where you start to wonder, can network marketing work for me? Well, today I want to discuss with you why that is, and more importantly, how to avoid that and overcome that. And we're going to talk about phase one and phase two of network marketing growth. This is specifically for people that are interested in duplicating, leadership, and all of that. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, share this, tag someone on this, and everything. Okay, so let's discuss this. We've discovered in our own personal business, I've been in network marketing now for 16 years, but the last 3 years have been phenomenal. We stumbled upon a duplication system that has been great. It allows the average person with little to no experience to actually start to scale, make money, $500, $1,000, a couple $1,000, and it's caused rapid explosive growth, which has been amazing. It's been our best years ever. But we started to see 6 months to a year ago an interesting pattern, which is one that I just described. So we're sort of scratching our heads and we're wondering, what's wrong? Is it the system's fault? Is it social media is different? Is it the algorithm change? Is it whatever? And I had one of my good friends, Coach Brent Palmer. He's a leader of leaders. He coined this phrase, phase one growth, and then phase two growth. And it just couldn't get out of my mind. And he described it this way. Phase one growth is this. In all of our lives, we all start with a group of friends, acquaintances, what we call a warm market. Our business, especially network marketing, is a relationship building business. So what happens is in the beginning, and let's just say you're building through social media, the average account on Facebook has 300 friends on Facebook. So what we start to do is we start to promote. Whether you post and you attract leads, or you take action and you go prospect and you go talk to people, we all find that we have a limited amount of warm market. Let's call it 300 people on Facebook. And let's say 10% of those become your customer, your partner. That's 30 people, which is great. If you're making $50 per sale, that's $1,500, which is great as part-time money in your first month or two. But this now is what starts to happen. Is in our business, it's all logical. If you want to sell more, then you have to have more people that you're presenting your information in front of. So what happens in phase one is we exhaust our current list of people that we can talk to, and we don't expand. So what starts to happen is we're saying the same message to the same people. We're doing the same amount of work, but because it's not expanding out of that circle, we get stuck. Business starts to flatline, and then you start to say, man, can this business really, really work? That's phase one. Phase one is warm market outreach, basically. What most people don't understand is that is a good start to the business, but it's not the end of the business. I'd even submit that's the start of the real business. One thing that my mentors taught me in the beginning that so inspired me, they said, you want to become so good in business that you can be dropped off in the middle of nowhere, that you don't know anyone around you. And just because of your skills, you can go build a successful business again. I think about Undercover Billionaire. Maybe you've watched that show. If you have, let me know in the comments below. People like Grant Cardone were on there. Very fun movie to look at. because it describes true entrepreneurship that's able to just pick up and build from wherever. Here's the biggest issue, especially now in this generation of a social media, online driven network marketing world. Most of us are never taught phase two growth skills. Phase two are things like leadership development, mindset, personal growth. You will never grow your income past your own self identity. Things like how to generate new leads, whether that's through content creation and attracting cold market, or that's through actual building true relationships and connecting with people in a professional way, right? There's also in phase two duplication. We call it tap rooting, which is if you run out of your warm market and your connections, while as you're connecting with other partners, can you lead them to successfully launch and taproot into their connections to spread your message, to spread your product, to spread your service? Phase two is the real part of business. And what happens is, especially because of social media, we have oversimplified how network marketing works, how business works. The expectations are all off, where we think that to do well in business, we just sit back, click a couple buttons, and life is going to be good. We as entrepreneurs, especially network marketing, to be honest, have become really soft. And it's a good and a bad thing. It is true technology has made it a lot easier. The bad thing is because it's made it easier, we have soft skin. And this is the pattern that is ruining people's businesses, their relationships, and actually putting a damper on the network marketing profession. You then meet people that hop from opportunity to opportunity. And you'll see this trend every 90 days, 6 months or so. You'll see them pick up and go find another product, another company, another service to go promote and sell. Now, am I saying you have to always do the same thing all the time? No, but I think it's important to know what was the reason behind them leaving. Most of the time, it's not because there was an issue with the product, an issue with the company. Most of the time, it's because phase two growth was not developed and duplicated. And we end the warm market. We need to reintroduce something new to the current market. And that's all we think we have to do to another company. This is a danger zone because it might help and work a couple times. But what you start to see is this: a reputation is painted and credibility is ruined. In anything that we do, longevity is credibility. That's why I've shared the same product for 14 years. And I've been through personal bankruptcy, company bankruptcies, change of hands, lots of things. But the product still remained the same because I know that longevity breeds credibility. Okay. It's because, and I don't blame these people from changing, it's because we have not trained and coached for reals. And that's what I want to do on here. Okay. So before you consider doing something else, really think, is it just because I ended my phase one, my warm market, and I have to really learn now phase two growth? I hope that makes sense. Okay. So what's the solution behind all of this? Phase one, get really good at that. You want to make sure that in your network marketing systems, because we want to help the masses be able to make a little bit of money. We want to help the masses be able to share a good product or a good service. Phase one is all about simplicity. Phase one is all about duplication. Phase one, what exploded our company was that there was a basically copy paste system without much training needed that you can literally take it in a day, start making money. That's a great place to start because we're dealing with normal people like I was who had no entrepreneurial experience, that had very thin skin. So I would submit that phase one now, it's nice to have some done for you scripts and attraction marketing. People are more scared to go talk to someone now, right? We're scared to call someone up. I don't remember the last time I just called someone and talked about business, right? So it's nice to have some attraction marketing. It's nice to have some done for you scripts that really work. It's nice to have a great community to envelop people into, to get them a quick win. They can make $500, make $1,000 pretty quick. But what it really does is it buys you time now for them to actually do the real part of business development, which is getting into phase two. Okay. Phase two is now we need to dive into it. What we've created in our team in the last 6 months was a phase two program. And we mentored people with mindset, leadership, skill sets, comp plan, skills, challenges, right? Building up real entrepreneurial like skill sets, right? In a closed environment. And that produced the most amount of people in our team that got to the top 1% around the globe. I know. So you want to make sure you have a good phase one program in a system that everybody's doing. But you also want to then have some way of extracting from those that are coachable to phase one. You're going to have varying levels of duplication, right? Some are just going to be happy customers. Some will just be around for the environment. Some will actually launch and go into phase one and actually start to do the business. And it's from this group, you want to have some type of accountability measure where it deals with them taking action. It deals with them having some type of sales metric because we want to always get customers, but it also deals with a metric that they're partnering with others. Because the biggest difference of network marketing versus any other business in the world, which is why I would never do any other business in the world, is network marketing. You can get paid by leveraging and partnering with others, by helping other people do well and selling the product or service you have. You too can get a slight override as well. That is leveraged income. That's exponential recurring income. That is why this is so much better than affiliate marketing or Amazon marketing or any of these, because we don't have to pay for ads. We don't have to pay for employees. We don't have to pay for sales reps. We can partner with other affiliates that can then sell the product, make money, but then you can make money as well too. This part, you want to make sure the builders, are there people that are intentionally wanting to build? You want to have in your phase two growth metric a metric where people have to actually partner with other people. Because a leader that has no followers is simply taking a walk. The reality is in any organization, whether it be a church, your company, a traditional corporation, network marketing, all organizations are built off of leadership. And we need more leaders, compounding, helping more people, doing more. If it's all about us, we're going to be hiring ourselves for a job. So what we want to do is we want to find a way to have a metric where the leaders select themselves. And leaders that select themselves are very simple. They're willing to do the work. They're willing to be a little bit bold, and they're willing to volunteer and put themselves into a higher level training as well. It doesn't have to be a crazy bar. For us, this person is maybe making $1,000. It's not a hard bar, but it does separate the 5% from the 100% of people that are involved. Not everyone will do it, but the ones that raise their hand will be the ones that then we can take to the next level. Okay. So at phase one, then we have the transition and the vetting process. And then what do you do in phase two? Phase two is now when you level things up. Phase two is when you actually go into the specifics of building a real business. And what's the intention? The intention is, how do we get each leader to have more leads looking at their business? If you want to sell more, you have to have more people looking at your stuff. So there's two general ways that you can do that. And these are the skills that you're going to be developing in this phase two. It's A, getting more personal leads in my own brand, in my own connection. That could be outbound, knowing how to network, knowing how to prospect, knowing how to invite, present, and close. Or that could be inbound. It could be action or attraction. The other side is building a brand, going on social media, learning how to do reels and things like that, so that you're constantly generating more. Okay. I have a leader that we were just talking about. They had 2,000 leads come in because of 5 reels that went viral. Now it's a good problem to have. They're trying to figure out how to keep up with them and to convert, right? So these are the types of phase two growth strategies that must be learned to have an evergreen, continuing duplicating business. Second aspect of this phase two growth is then knowing how to lead others, because you can have an inflow from yourself. But the fastest way also is if you learn how to taproot, how to lead others so they can launch their businesses and develop as well too, and develop more leaders. Okay. So these are things like leadership. These are things like how to help somebody actually take action. These are things like three-way conversations. These are things like learning how to do a presentation for other people. These are a lot of relational dynamics. So this is where leadership comes into place. The best part about network marketing is it deals with people. The worst part about network marketing is it deals with people. Why? Because we're all messed up. We all got drama. So you have to learn how to be a little bit patient with people. You have to learn how to be forgiving. You have to learn how to meet people where they're at. You have to learn how to communicate. There's all these soft skills that take you from a solopreneur to an actual entrepreneur, that take you from an affiliate marketer to an empire builder. These dynamics are super important and they need to be developed because ultimately you're developing you. I described phase two growth as three parts: leadership, systems, and identity. Leadership is leading yourself and leading others. Systems are things like skills and systems in place for you and your business and your team. Identity is your personal development. You must grow. A growing business requires a growing leader. So if we're not growing, then we're dying. You've heard these things. But these are elements that are in a phase two growth process. And what we've realized is that we need to talk phase two with a group of phase two. Phase two is not, it's not the right place to give phase two training for someone that's still in phase one. Because in phase one, people are focused on just the simple and they need to run through that system. If we give phase two to someone in phase one, it ruins duplication because then it gets really, really confusing. Okay. So let me start wrapping this up. What I've seen is this: organizations typically are good at one, not the other. There's some that are really good at phase one, but then they struggle to scale into phase two. There's others that are good at phase two, but then they struggle with phase one. So what's the difference? Those that are good at phase one, but not good at phase two, have a lot of duplication all the time, but then they get stuck and they're constantly replacing. Those that are good at phase two, but not good at phase one, take a long time to get anyone to become a leader. But when they find that leader, it's a very strong build. So it takes a while. So what's the solution? Have a good phase one system, segment it, and then have a good phase two system. And when you have this dialed in, you have this evergreen machine of developing people and developing leaders and getting people at the right place in the right time to service them where they're at. So I hope that makes sense. I hope what this does is if you're looking at network marketing or if you're in network marketing, it helps you realize that there is a pattern, a logical pattern that happens, especially within the first 90 days. And B, there are solutions in place on how to overcome that and how to build that and how to duplicate that. The only way to make six figures plus consistently and actually have a life is to get into these rhythms and have actual duplication of things. So if you're sick and tired of just working hard all the time, just grinding away, then understand there are structures and duplication that are in place that you can implement. Figure it out for your own company, collaborate with some other leaders. We have just launched a big campaign within our company. And we had a call the other day. We maxed out the lines at 500 on Zoom. And then we had actually over 1,000 people already watch the replay. So we have 1,500 plus people that have already seen our proposition on a phase two growth. And it's been crazy because this is a very common problem in network marketing. But if you know the solution, and you can definitely find the solution, okay? Take these principles and start to put it all together. And I hope that helps you. All right. So I'd love to hear your thoughts below in phase one and phase two. Where are you in your business, or what are the things that you've struggled with? I'd love to see if you have anything that you've had in mind that have helped you overcome those as well too. If you have any more questions, let us know. Feel free to subscribe to this, share this, tag your teammates onto this if this was helpful. I want to continue to come on and really provide no BS network marketing growth tips from a seven-figure earner that's been through the loops and the hoops, so you too can actually succeed in your business as well. All right, on that, God bless.